What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here in the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. And it is great content, despite what we saw from that Mets game. And again, I didn't mean to clump Jake Irvin and Jose Quintana into the same sentence. That was probably a little bit too much because Jake Irvin has been pretty decent throughout. I just said they're both gas cans. That's not necessarily the fact. And we saw it from Jake Irvin. 92 degrees out there, mowing down the Mets. Mets were just lifeless. Didn't even look remotely interested. One of the weirder games I can remember watching in a long time. 90+ degree weather. My heat index for how I go about modeling weather was out of control with that baseball game. So of course, incoming 1-0. Kind of joked about that with a buddy too, where I was like, I'm gonna wake up really, really early and watch a terrible 1-0 baseball game, aren't I? And then, well, should have bet that exact number, but shout out to everybody who called me out on that because that was the correct thing to do. Did not. Again, I went back and listened to it. Make sure you got to be specific about what you say from time to time because Jake Irvin's friends and family were not very happy with me. And well, I wasn't very happy with that play, but people who are happy with me right now, everybody in the premium Discord, I should be able to say that, the premium Discord. And why is that? Well, home run plays have been ridiculous. Juan Soto goes yard again for the people here on this video, which is great. But I also put together a round robin for the lovely 4th of July. And wouldn't you know it, 4 of 8 home runs. Yes, over on FanDuel, ended up having an absolute smash with those FanDuel plays. Absolutely, you love to see it. And in fact, you can see it here on the screen as we pull up everything that I ended up firing up. Again, it was 8 total home run plays, 4 games, 2 plays from each specific game. Jeremy Pena was plus 1,200. That was a ridiculous number to me. And now, Houston's going to be on the move there. But that was the big, huge key to be able to link it with everything there. Juan Soto goes yard. Ben Rice goes yard. And then the final one, Jesus Sanchez in extras there. It ends up hurting my under 8.5. But I did think Nick Pivetta had a good chance to pitch really well and thought he might give up a solo shot or two. He wasn't the one who did it. No. They go to extras and this smashes. And as a result, I had a really good time with that round robin. It's usually around $100 of exposure for me, but I always post those in the premium Discord. And once you know it, a lot of people tailed. Specifically, shout out Christian and Donger there on the right side of your screen. 2 people who have been in the premium Discord for a long time. Hope they don't mind me sharing some of their results with it, but an absolute glory smash. Felt really good about that. 4th of July, go America. Don't let them catch you slipping them. Yeah, it's feeling good, friends. Let's get ourselves the heck up out of here, though. We got 15 games on the docket for Friday. Again, just wanted to share that for you. If you want to sign up for Odd Shopper down below, you know what to do. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but the link down there. Hopefully you took advantage of that 1776 promo. Otherwise, $14.99 for your first week. Use promo code Lindy, becomes $12 for that first week to jump into the premium Discord. But BetMGM, we'll talk about them as well. I won't talk about my golf game because I'm mad at it. Producer Jacob, I'm not mad with you. You're beautiful. Let's get to the picks. The man of steel, Justin Steele, on the mound here for the Cubs going up against the Angels, and he's been awesome of late. And so when I was updating all my sheets and everything else, I saw the 10.5 total, and I'm like, how much wind is blowing out there in Wrigley Field today? Well, the answer, friends, is a ton. It is going to be blowing 17 to 20 miles per hour sustained throughout the game. This is going to be this is finally the type of weather that we've been looking for a long time. Now, there might be value over on the Angels side of things. Miguel Sano has crazy amount of power, even if he wasn't working out with my Minnesota Twins and decided to get really big coming off of one season. Well, he's over there in LA and he's hitting the ball really hard, 56.8% hard hit. But Taylor Ward, Logan O'Hoppe, Joe Adell, I'm going to be paying attention to those, but I think they might be very, very muted. It's not like the books don't know that the wind is blowing out there in Wrigley Field. So you're looking for value. You can find value. Obviously, BetMGM has done a great job of stepping up their home run props. You've got FanDuel, who's just been the leader for the last however long, where they've routinely had the best value, hence why we do the round robins over there. But Griffin Canning, this is an absolute gas can, and I'm most interested in some of these lefties going up against him. And again, sorry to Griffin Canning's family. I don't think I'm going to get the same Jake Irvin treatment. It is what it is. But Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson, even 44.1% hard hit, even if he's been hitting them lower and, well, a 240 expected batting average. It's been brutal. All 3 of those guys strike out a lot here. Not going to be the case when you have Griffin Canning with a 15.6% K rate showing up with the wind blowing center to right, straight out, nearly 20 miles per hour. Good luck to him. The team total numbers are probably going to be untouchable. The home run numbers, I'm hoping that they're touchable. So I am pretty positive that I'm looking at the Michael Busch side of things here. Michael Busch to home run. This is a guy that earlier in the season went completely ballistic. He's fallen on not tougher times, but Michael Busch with a 329 xWOB, a 432 expected slugging, only at 37.6% hard hit, but 18-degree launch angle. If you hit it in the air, it has a chance to leave the ballpark here with this one. You want to be paying attention to these home run numbers. First game of the day, I am very interested in, very curious to see where the books open these numbers. Oh, I needed to give you a break-even price. By the way, it's plus 280 for Michael Busch there. That should tell you how ridiculous that ballpark is playing. And that's my projection based on his last couple of outings. And looking back at the last couple, it might end up shorter than that, and I'll reassess. But I also want to see exactly what that wind is up to. So wanted to talk about that for a quick second. Let's talk Mets. Let's talk Pirates here. We got Luis Severino and Paul Skeens. Skeens, mother trucker. Livy Dunn had a great 4th of July. Shout out. Livy Dunn. Anyway, Luis Severino, weird numbers that we got for opening props. And we got a lot of opening props for some of these games because you had the morning and afternoon for Thursday. It was basically like when I do Wednesday's show coming into Thursday. Now it's Thursday's show coming into Friday, where now everything's pushed back and now we're getting some props early. I always like those so I can give you the most updated information, and I tend to be much, much better at props. Not that sides and totals have been not profitable for me. They have been profitable for me over the course of the last 3 years, but my ROI is just exponentially higher when it comes to props because, well, we're a data company. We're very, very good at that, and that is kind of my forte. So anywho, to this spot, I have absolutely nothing for you. Paul Skeens, this is a ridiculous opening number here on his Ks yet again. I know he continues. He's only had one game, I believe, where he had fewer than 7 Ks in his. Isn't that just unbelievable? The guy is an unbelievable pitcher, so I get why these are getting nuked to the 7.5 range. The Mets coming off of a face plant. Jose Quintana pitched really, really well for what it's worth, but Jose Quintana is still a gas can. Nobody's going to change my mind on that one. Luis Severino, I think you could probably attack it here. We're talking about minus 120 to back one of the best pitchers in baseball in Paul Skeens, the 22-year-old. Shout out Livy Dunn again. Pittsburgh money line, just a lean, not going to be a bet for me. We got St. Louis, we got Washington, and once again, apologizing for the last time on this video to the family of Jay Gervin. Sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. Now, he's not that good. The Mets were pretty abysmal, and, well, there's some... So we'll talk about it on Jay Gervin's next outing, but I feel pretty good about the assessment of that weather, that's for sure. And wouldn't you know, we got the same weather coming back around this time. It is hot, it is humid. It's basically St. Louis out there in DC. These East Coast, Northeast summers with the humidity, man. I can do the dry heat. I can do the 110 in Scottsdale. I can't do the like 95 with humidity up there in the Northeast, but that's kind of what you're running into here in Washington in this spot. Not quite that, 90, 92, but Sonny Gray, Patrick Corbin. One of these pitchers is not like the other one. I'll let you guess which. I have a ton of interest in going up against Patrick Corbin because why wouldn't I? 50% hard hit, 389 xWOB, a 10.2% barrel percentage, just a 15.7% K rate. There is not a prop that is not in play on the St. Louis side with some of those righties, including some of the lefties as well. But overall, I don't know what to make of this one as of now because I think the numbers, I need more books to be showing up with some numbers so I can give you some kind of a break-even number. You're on the St. Louis run line, the over 9. In fact, I'm looking at parlaying them, but also the St. Louis team total. Maybe that's a better way of doing it. Sometimes people go to the minus 1.5 when you could just go to 5.5 and get nice plus money on it. Very curious where books start to drop that. So it's going to be high on my radar. It's high on my priority list. If you want to know if I bet it, hit me up over on X at Eric Lindquist. I'll let you know. Or in the premium Discord, the easiest place to find me. We got the AL East matchup that's just tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Boston and New York, the Yankee version, that is. Tanner Houck and Nestor Cortes. It's so funny. In the back of my mind, I had a dream like a couple days ago, because this is what happens to me as somebody who just lives, breathes sports, and specifically baseball this time of year. But I had a dream that Nestor Cortes was on the IL, and I woke up, and then I looked and saw his name today, and he hasn't been on the IL at all this season, to my knowledge. So it's just so weird that, like, I expected it to, oh, I haven't seen Nestor Cortes in a long time, but some of his starts don't necessarily overlap. He started on Sunday. Don't do this video the 23rd. They give him an extra day, so it would have been Saturday. So it just worked out where it was like 2 weeks of starts that we didn't end up covering on this program. But overall, he's still been all right this season. There's not like a whole lot that I'm going to point out from a blemish perspective, other than hard hit, 45.1% for the southpaw. Now, Tyler O'Neill, he's going to look good. Small ballpark, righty with a 20.6-degree launch angle, 50.4% hard hit. Wilyer Abreu, somebody that, you know, obviously left on left. I'm very curious to see if he ends up in this lineup. I'm not positive if he does or not. So there's some weird ways that I went about projecting this one. But David Hamilton and Jarren Duran, still assuming that they just want to have them up there for the stolen base equity. And then Rafael Devers, left on left, don't really care about that one as much. I kind of like backing Tanner out, getting plus 120 here. Looked at the first 5. Didn't seem as appealing, but the Yankees, they are, I'm not going to call them spiraling. They still have one of the best records in the AL. That's not the right way of saying it. But they haven't looked up to par. And Juan Soto going yard, that was kind of a salvage for us there, or salvage for the Yankees in a game that they otherwise, it was never remotely close against Cincinnati. Grab the brooms, friends. Boston money line. Let's kick it off. Let's kick this. Not a dead horse. It's just like Olympic horse while it's down. It's kind of mean to horses. Why would we do that? Well, we're going to make money on this, hopefully. Hopefully. Drew Thorpe and Brian Hoeing, always a fun one to be looking at here. Drew Thorpe has that changeup, has that nasty pitch there. But otherwise, not a whole lot of interest as far as, like, the best part he has going for him is the matchup. You get by Brandon De La Cruz and Jesus Sanchez as a righty, and you are just looking beautiful. Josh Bell cannot be more inept at the plate right now. It's wild because, like, once upon a time, Josh Bell, well, he still doesn't strike out, 18.3% K rate, but it used to be like an imposing third batter there. But, you know, he's smack dab between those two because he's a switch hitter and, you know, flip it around. You can't just completely platoon those 2, 3, 4 guys, but I'm getting very intricate about batting order today. I don't really know why. I don't really like this game. I'm leaning towards the over of 8, but purely because of math reasons. 4-4 game, you push towards the over, but it's not a great ballpark. Brian Hoeing not going to be long for this one in any way, shape, or form. I just don't know what to tell you. He's coming off the IL, 15-day IL. I don't think you get more than like an inning or maybe 2, and then it becomes a huge bullpen situation that I need to pay more attention to tomorrow. Want to get word on if we get a long reliever announced there, and yeah, let's get ourselves into Odd Shopper, shall we? $14.95 weekly, $49.95 monthly. Brought them up, those slides, from the beginning of the program. If you didn't see the home run round robin, I'm obviously very proud of myself. I'm very happy because the home run model has been smashing. People commenting weekly, just every single day almost, actually. Eric, how do you do it? How do you go about projecting your home runs? Why don't you just jump into the spot where I'm posting them? That makes the most sense. $49.95 weekly. Gets a little bit better, though. If you use promo code Lindy, 20% off of that. That becomes $12 for your first week, $40 if you want to sign up for your first month, down at the link below. Again, hopefully you took advantage of that 1776 promo, but if not, friends, it's okay. $12 for your first week. That's still less than $2 a day. Come hang out. The water's warm. A lot of sharp people hanging in there, talking homers all the live long day, and then all the other greatness too, because, well, the likes have been really good until the morning on Thursday, that's for sure. Let's get ourselves back on track. Back to the picks we go. Reese Olson is much better here over the course of the last couple starts. We were picking on him earlier in the season, and somebody like threw it out there that, oh, he's, you know, looking so much better. And then he got absolutely bazooka shelled. It's like running not just into the banana peel in Mario Kart. It's more of like those, you know, like the bullet. It's never good to get hit by the bullet, or the blue shell. The blue shell is especially bad. But coming off of 9 strikeouts up against the Los Angeles Angels, 6 innings pitched. In fact, he's had 3 consecutive quality starts up against the Braves. That's the most impressive. Against the White Sox, that's less impressive at home. And then the Angels on the road, which, you know, is all right. 9 strikeouts. That's always fun to see, isn't it? That's good to see if you're Reese Olson's family. Talking about the family of a lot of pitchers today. Don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. Carson Spears, friends, on the other side, 291 ex-WOBA so far this season, 4.5% walk rate. Really, really nice. In his short major league stint last season, had a 10.9% walk rate, but a 4.30 expected ERA, much better than the 6.92 ERA he had. Again, it was a very, very limited sample size, 291 pitch sample size, so I'm not going to go crazy with that. But that being said, I like what we've seen from him in 2024 as well. 18.7% K rate isn't crazy impressive, but 3.35 expected ERA showing up there in the column. That is useful, my friends. Very, very useful. If he can avoid the fly ball contact here a little bit, Detroit, well, they've only got a couple of lefties you really got to deal with if you're Carson Spears. Riley Green, hi, how are you this fine day? Why don't you just take a load off? Take a load off. Maybe take a day off. That'd be great. Under 9. I like under 9. We've actually done very well on unders in Great American Small Park this season, 3-1. Let's make it 4-1 because that would be better. Nothing really to mine out of this one. San Francisco, we don't know who the pitcher is going to be. I had a couple of different iterations of who it could be. Kyle Harrison did have a bullpen session. He did have there was some kind of word that Kyle Harrison might make himself available here for this one. We haven't seen him since the 10th year, so it's been a hot second. Oh, Jock Peterson just went yard. That's very, very good for me. Anyway, we got Tanner Bybee here. Yeah, I'm going to say it correctly for the Cleveland people because Cleveland deserves our respect. They're actually kind of the dark horse of the AL, I would say. The Yankees, I'm sure they're going to do everything they can to go get everybody. They're going to have the Baltimore Orioles. They have pieces that people want. What they're willing to part with is going to be very interesting to me because it's not like they're going to spend a crazy amount of money, but Cleveland, they've got the bullpen. They got the power. Tanner Bybee, he's been awesome, though. 3.47 ERA, 1.09 whip. Strikeouts, 12 and 11 he had against Seattle and Cincinnati. It cooled off a little bit against Kansas City and Baltimore, but I would expect it to kind of cool off against Kansas City and Baltimore. So Tanner Bybee, I think we want it back, maybe, but it's going to be a lean for right now because the price just isn't there. Plus 130, I want better than plus 135. Or plus 135 is actually the break-even number, so I want like plus 140. Philly at Atlanta, and this is an interesting one. We had Detroit and Cincinnati. We're going to go on a little bit of a run here with 2 more unders back-to-back. Philly at Atlanta in this one. Aaron Nola, Max Fried. These are 2 really, really good pitchers, and this is an Atlanta team that I don't trust all that much at the plate right now. Matt Olson, man, I just watched some of these at-bats, and it just makes me sad. It's kind of tough to watch. He's hitting 241. I mean, he's never been like a crazy average guy, but like some of the ball, it just doesn't look right to me. Everything about Atlanta is a little bit in free fall. Now, Ozzie Albies is back up there batting second, so that's useful for them. They had Jared Kelenic. He's been a very, very nice find for them. Seattle would like him right about now. Seattle's still winning baseball games out of the middle of nowhere, so there you go. 45.9% hard hit, 443 expected slugging for Kelenic, so there's that. But I like the under here. I think Aaron Nola, somebody I want to back. Max Fried, somebody I want to back. Well, the only way to really do that is to bet the under of 7.5. The price for the first 5 there. Oh, Christian Walker does go yard. That's insane, too. What an interesting start of the game for Landon. I'm always watching. I'm always watching. Under 7.5, I like this one. The Rays, the Rangers in this one. And, yeah, the Rays side, it's going to be a question mark of what we get. I think Shane Baz is the guy who ends up stepping in and starting in this one. Well, he got recalled from AAA Durham. So when you see somebody getting recalled, you assume them to be starting where there's a break in the rotation. They traded Aaron Savale, who I believe is going to be starting for Milwaukee against the Dodgers on Friday. So that's a whole thing. But Shane Baz, he's somebody that in the past has had some really good stuff and shown out, but he's coming off of Tommy John surgery. I'm not sure exactly what we get from him here. Went through a couple of those AAA spots against AAA Durham. Been okay. He had an awful beginning to his season. What was it? 7.71 ERA, over 6 1 in third innings. But it's been pretty good in June. 1.57 ERA, and he's getting those strikeouts back up because that's what really looked good for Mr. Shane Baz once upon a time. So we're going to be paying very close attention to his health in this one. But I want to be in early on that because he's a righty. Shane Baz is a righty going up against the Texas Rangers team that just doesn't hit righties. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened between their World Series last year and this year. Maybe just a year hangover. But 92 WRC plus is not cutting it when you have Corey frickin' Seager in your lineup. And he's smashing. So can't blame it on Corey Seager. Adolis Garcia, he's been okay. Just find anything else to come along for the ride. I mean, shit, they're starting Travis Jankowski on a day in, day out basis. Anywho, Under 8.5. I like it in this one here. Michael Lorenzen going to do just enough against the Rays. Doing just enough against the Rays that I think we can find a little bit of value out of this one. Wouldn't be surprised if it moved down to 8 before first pitch. Jennifer Lopez, 4 kids, and I got to take all of that ass to showbiz. Okay, get Pablo Lopez, and then we're going to bet, because it's going to be a bet, and Minnesota money line looks good. We're going up against the Houston Astros, who have been red hot. People like hot streaks. They talk about hot streaks. But Sean Dubin, good luck to you, sir. Good luck. He's a righty. He had 55 pitches in his last outing. I think you maybe get 65, 70 of depth here. You had Houston playing good baseball. I'm not going to go out of my way to say that they aren't good. 113 WRC plus against righties. But I'm getting this inside of minus 150 on a pitcher that I just believe in. And he's the only guy on the Minnesota staff that I'm really willing to back in the way that the prices have been showing here of late. I'm kind of a pessimist when it comes to our pitching staff, but his 4.88 ERA is so much worse than what he deserves. 3.28 expected ERA. I'm obviously an expected stats guy. I'm obviously a StatCast guy. I'm looking for predictive analytics. I'm not a trends guy so much. You probably know this about me by now. And Minnesota money line, that's not a trend. That is feeling very nice here. This moved up to minus 155. I would still be interested, but we're not going to be locking it. Probably my second favorite play on the card here. We got one coming up later, Toronto-Seattle. For what it's worth, this is a great deal. BetMGM, first bet safety net. You go to the link below, you sign up, you deposit anything you want, you bet anything you want, and when you do, up to $1,500. Whatever that first bet is that you make, up to $1,500. If it wins, you keep the money. The money is nice. If it loses, get it back in bonus bets and give it another try, friends. That's a second chance for you at life over at BetMGM. And plus, you want to have exposure to all these sports books. Might as well take advantage of these massive sign-up offers that they're giving you only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we got. 5 games left. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bells. We talk Cole Reagans up in Coors against Kyle Freeland. It's not so free when you're playing Freeland because he is brutality. Again, it's very hard to pitch in Coors Field, the best pitcher's park in baseball. If you don't have like a really good fastball, it's not going to play there at elevation. Woo. Woo. I don't even like U2 that much, but Cole Reagans, isn't it? I think it's U2. 29.8% K rate, 364 xWOBA, or sorry, 364 expected slugging, 293 xWOBA. Been one of the best pitchers in baseball, but he's going into Coors. You're going to have to use a changeup, and the changeup is very interesting. I don't know how this is going to play at elevation because a changeup generally, when you go through the spin, it is much lower there at like 2180 rotations per minute. I think it's still going to play decently well, and this is a Colorado team that, yeah, they're going to have more righties that they roll out there, but just an 88 WRC plus against lefties on the season with a 24.6% K rate. I'm actually going to look at some K props for Cole Reagans, potentially laddering that for the people. I got to say, it looks a little bit nifty to me now. Kyle Freeland on the other side is who we really want to be targeting. The guy's got a 359 xWOBA, 468 expected slugging, 10-degree average launch angle. Isn't all that high. It's, middle of the road, but we got a guy in Sal Perez here going to Coors. I just want to give him a special shout out on the program. He's 34 years of age. I don't think I've bet him one time on any prop this season because, well, he's not a great base runner. And that's where it gets a little bit difficult because you want guys to be running out balls. You want to, like for your 2+ bases, you want them to run for your money. But I mean, there's just more real estate out here in Coors, and I don't know what these numbers are going to look like on the Kansas City side. Something tells me they might end up very, very muted. But inside of minus 105 as a break-even number, minus 104 if we're being exact, and we should be exact because, that's kind of my job here. I like over 1.5 total bases for him, or 2+ bases as I like to write it on the sheet because the single game parlay people. Also going to be looking at the home run prop for him. Anything better than plus 305 will probably end up being on the card, and it should be. It's not crazy up there for home runs in Coors, but great hitters ballpark, obviously, against a soft-tossing Freeland. Slade Ciccone and Randy Vasquez. Doesn't get much worse than this, friends, but San Diego, I will at least say this. Anytime you're going to throw up a bad righty there, you have to consider them on the run line. You do. 121 WRC plus is the second best mark in baseball. Time and time again. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me time after time. Yeah, started out there. Slade Ciccone is not very good. Now, Vasquez is horrible as well, but I'm going to pay attention to Arizona here. They're up 2-0 in the early going of that Dodger game as I'm watching that live as we're talking. Need to see some bullpen usage here from them because taking on the Dodgers, that'll strain you a little bit. And, well, I want to see some arm availability in this one for them entering this. And Randy Vasquez, can they give him the quick hook? Because he's just awful. You got to try to survive. Petco playing way up for power. I don't know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. And San Diego on the run line, just a lean. Probably not going to bet it, but very curious to see what some of these numbers end up at with the news that Vasquez is out there. I don't have a ton to mine out of this one. Suarez going up against Harris here. Albert Suarez. We've backed him a couple of times in some weird spots, and this would make sense as one, but my Lord, is this a heavy price to be laying on the road with the Baltimore Orioles? Probably going to be more Orioles fans in attendance as it is, but we're going to probably pump the brakes at this kind of a number for a guy with just a 17.9% K rate. There's not many lefties. I mean, Blade, folks, and you've got Tyler Soderstrom. I believe that's how they told me to pronounce it. Them being people in his family that also probably reached out to me at one point in time. I just know that I've said his name wrong in the past because multiple people have let me know. They always let me know in the comment section. Thanks, comment section. Anyway, Hogan Harris is a lefty, but that kind of makes me interested looking at some lefties. Who ends up in the lineup? I don't know. They can play the platoon game a lot with guys like Austin Hayes. Jorge Mateo, he's been there like right on right as well, so it doesn't change much. He'll be in there against a lefty, but does it end up being Mullins? Do they end up continuing to roll out Heston Kierstead? Do they continue to roll out a couple of these lefties? Ryan O'Hearn, does he make the lineup? Well, I know Gunnar Henderson is making the lineup, and he is incredible. Goes yard up in Seattle, completely smashes. Baltimore, of course, loses for us because that's how things go in that department. But we're going to look at 2+ bases for him here in Oakland. Big ballpark. Big ballpark. It is so big. Just the foul ball territory actually is the big part of the ballpark. It's not actually the hitting territory as much. But when blowing out, it's built to mute the wind. But Gunnar Henderson, 2+ bases, I like it against a gas can left on left. Toronto at Seattle, my favorite play of the entire slate, which is a little bit strange because it's Kevin Gausman versus Luis Castillo. And that doesn't scream runs, does it? Does it? No, it absolutely doesn't, because well, Kevin Gausman and Luis Castillo routinely for, what, 5-10 years of me betting baseball, of me watching baseball in like this kind of an intricate manner, as opposed to just showing up in the stands and, oh, I know what's going on. I'm going to have some beers with boys and, you know, bet on whatever. You know what I mean? Kevin Gausman has been awful in the StatCast department this season. 11.3% barrel percentage is not what you're looking for. These are not the numbers you're looking for. 505 expected slugging, awful. 43.6% hard hit, awful. The guy has one of the best pitches in baseball, or had one of the best pitches in baseball, because you look at the split finger, it is just scary good every single year. And now this year, you go into some of the data on it, it's okay, 198 batting average against, but a 235 expected batting average against. If you're telling me that his his best pitch has negative regression due for it, I'm a little bit concerned about his profile going forward. Now, this is the best pitcher's ballpark over a 3-year rolling average in Baseball's Font, but still, Luis Castillo, he's been helped out by this ballpark. I mean, he was very successful, even giving up hard hit over there in Cincinnati once upon a time, but I don't feel so good at going up against a Toronto team that Vlad Guerrero Jr. at the height of his powers right now. Davis Schneider, he's regressed a little bit here, but George Springer starting to come alive with a 334 xWOBA, 262 expected batting average. Pay attention, because Bo Bichette did get scratched there on Thursday, before Thursday's game, about an hour before Thursday's game. But for today, for Friday, I like the over here, considering it's at -105 right now. If this were a year ago, 2 years ago, you could probably talk me out of this, but this is definitely a spot that I think that you're looking at more run production than expected. Yes, Seattle's going to strike out a ton against righties, and if Kevin Gausman has it rolling, this might look silly in hindsight, but this is right around a 57% expected win percentage for me, and you're paying -105 for it. A really good play. Half unit play for me. Again, it's not like way out there for me in lock territory, so there you go. Haven't had a lock in a while. We'll get ourselves to a lock very, very shortly, friends. But for right now, we're rolling up until Thursday morning. Let's try to keep that going. And we are finishing it out here. Potentially Freddie Peralta, but also I am seeing some mixed signals about what could potentially happen here. They ended up trading the Milwaukee Brewers for Aaron Savale there from the Tampa Bay Rays. Again, Milwaukee, they know what they're doing. They've built up a lot of these starters over time, and they wanted to go get themselves one. Tampa Bay is aware of how big of a gauntlet and how big of a hill it is to climb, even around the 500 mark in the AL East, and they're hitting eject on a couple of pieces. So that's kind of the way that I see it. And, well, as such, I don't know who ends up starting here. It could be Peralta. It could be Savali. It could be like one of those bullpen opener type situations. So we're not even going to be going crazy here with anything. Tyler Glasnow on the hill. He's the best pitcher on the Dodgers staff, bar none. Even if you get Kershaw back, even if Buehler starts figuring his you know what I'm going to say out, it is what it is. Tyler Glasnow's incredible. 194 expected batting average, 252 xWOBA, 34% K rate here. And Milwaukee, they've smashed righties routinely, but this is a different breed of human here in Tyler Glasnow. You do have Christian Yelich coming back to his Southern California roots, but at the same time, I got no roots. We've got Freddie Peralta, Aaron Savali. Those are two different flip sides. So I'm going to put Dodgers in the run line just as a lean. I need a lot more information on this one, and we're probably not going to get it, not even in the morning when I wake up, but until the afternoon. Good Lord Almighty, Lindy. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know if you were in the premium Discord and you tailed that round robin. It felt good. Round robin. Thank you, producer Jacob here. Great week in the books here. We worked through the holiday. No days off. No days off. Bill Belichick would be proud. He's had some days off recently. Anyway, friends, check out BetMGM. Check out OddsShopper as well. Until next time, until next week, I'm Eric Lidquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Friday.